And this morning, let's get you all the updates that you need to know on the probe into actor Sushant Singh Rajput's death. The Mumbai police has sought a copy of the contract agreement between Karan Johar's Dharma Productions and Sushant Singh Rajput for the film Drive. Cops will today be questioning Dharma Productions CEO Apurva Mehta and may also call in Karan Johar for analysing the contract agreement. Yesterday, the Mumbai police quizzed filmmaker Mahesh Bhatt at the Santa Cruz police station for around 2 hours. Bhatt in his statement said that Sushant was never offered a lead role in the film Sadak 2. He said that Sushant had expressed his wish to work in the film, but it was always to be made with Sanjay Dutt in the lead role. Mahesh Bhatt also denied having any conversation with Sushant on a professional front. Over 30 Bollywood celebrities, including filmmakers Sanjay Leela Bhansali and Aditya Chopra, have already been questioned in connection with Sushant's death. Sushant's Viscera report, meanwhile, has ruled out any foul play. According to the report, there was no trace of any kind of poison.
The Mumbai police on Monday received a viscera report of Bollywood star Sushant Singh Rajput, who took his life on June 14th. The report rules out any foul play in his suicide. The post-mortem report had already confirmed that Sushant died by asphyxiation, but the Mumbai cops have intensified the probe into his death. Filmmaker Mahesh Bhatt is the latest to be grilled by the Mumbai police, which is probing actor Sushant Singh Rajput's death last month. Bhatt was questioned for around 2 hours at the Santa Cruz police station. The police have also summoned Apurva Mehta, the CEO of Dharma Productions, owned by filmmaker Karan Johar. The Maharashtra government has said that if the need arises, Johar also will be summoned.
ऐसे करण जौहर के मैनेजर को बुलाया है और उनको इन्वेस्टिगेट करने के बाद में ऐसी जरूरत लगी कि करण जौहर को भी बुलाना पड़ता है तो उनको भी बुलाएंगे.
Over 30 Bollywood personalities, including filmmakers Sanjay Leela Bhansali and Aditya Chopra, have also been questioned. The police are probing if some Bollywood personalities actually abetted Sushant Singh Rajput's alleged suicide. Ever since Sushant Singh Rajput was found dead at his home on June 14th, Bollywood has been sieged by a deluge of allegations of nepotism and professional rivalry. Kangana Ranaut has been at the forefront of the movement.
मूवी माफिया ने ना कि सिर्फ उनको बैन किया था, सिस्टमैटिक डिसमेंटलिंग, कैसे कतरा कतरा करके उनका दिमाग तोड़ा गया है, उनको मारा गया है.
Oscar winner A.R. Rahman joined in last week, saying he was denied chances in Bollywood based on rumors. Shekhar Kapoor chipped in, saying an Oscar award kills opportunities in Bollywood. Now sound designer Rasul Pukutti has also claimed he suffered a near breakdown because he received little or no work in the Hindi film industry after winning an Oscar for Slumdog Millionaire.
The Bandra police investigating the death of actor Sushant Singh Rajput have received the viscera report from Forensic Science Laboratory. The report states that there were no traces of poison or any effluents in the viscera.
With Divyesh Singh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, there's also a growing clamour for a CBI probe into Sushant Singh Rajput's death. NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar's grandnephew Parth Pawar has written to the Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh requesting him to take national emotions into consideration and to initiate a CBI probe into Sushant's death. In his letter, Pawar, who's also Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar's son, said that the youth of the nation are demanding a logical and fair closure to this case. The letter comes over a week after State Home Minister had ruled out the request for a CBI probe into the case, saying that the Mumbai police was fully capable of handling this probe. The long wait for the much-awaited Rafale jets is almost over, as 5 Rafale jets are now on their way to India from France and will land at the Ambala Air Base on Wednesday. In fact, the jets were seen off by the Indian ambassador to France. Here are all the details.
The sweet growl of jet engines. The roar ripping up the crisp morning air as 5 new Rafale jets blast off from the Mérignac airfield in southern France. The jets are finally homeward bound. The combat fighters are being flown home to India by the country's first Rafale pilots. They spent their morning prepping for the ferry flight, and then they were given a send-off by India's ambassador to Paris.
They are superb flying machines being flown by the best pilots in the world. We'd like to thank Dassault for delivering the aircraft on time, the French Air Force and the French government for all the support they've provided. This is going to add a great deal of strength to our air power and defense preparedness, but it is also a powerful symbol of the strategic partnership between India and France.
The 5 Rafales won't be alone in the air. In the first leg of their flight from Mérignac to Al Dhafra Air Base in the UAE, over 5,000 kilometers away, the Indian Rafales will be joined in the air by 2 French Air Force Airbus A330 mid-air refueling aircraft. And this is precisely what that refueling will look like, with the Rafales using a refueling probe to plug into a drogue hose dangling from the tanker jet. This will give the Rafales the fuel necessary for the long non-stop flight across the Mediterranean and across West Asia. In the second leg of their flight, from Al Dhafra in UAE to Ambala in Haryana, their new home, the Indian Rafales will soar out over the Persian Gulf. Over the Arabian Sea, they will be met by 2 Indian Air Force IL-78 mid-air refuelers. For the final journey home, since the jets cannot fly over Pakistan, they'll fly a circuitous route over Gujarat and curve north towards Ambala. The total distance of this final leg will be over 2,700 kilometers. Once they land, the Indian Air Force won't spare a moment and will work to quickly get the aircraft into combat-ready mode. The Rafale's formidable weapons, the Scalp cruise missile and Meteor beyond visual range air-to-air missile are already in Ambala, waiting for their motherships to arrive. Oh, and by the way, if you've been wondering, the RB on the Indian Rafale tails stands for the initials of India's current Air Force Chief, Air Chief Marshal Rakesh Bhadoria. He'll be welcoming the jets to the country not long after they arrive. But come Wednesday, India's tryst with the Rafale finally begins. Bureau Report, India Today.
Sources, meanwhile, have revealed to India Today that the ITBP has been decided to really equip its soldiers with special winter dress. Now, the decision comes amidst rising tensions at the LAC. The ITBP is planning to buy special high-altitude dress and special mountaineering equipment for the soldiers to survive in the blood-chilling temperatures of the line of actual control. Sources further claim that a large amount of special clothing and mountaineering equipment is being purchased to equip around 30,000 soldiers deployed at a height of 9,000 to 18,000 feet. The Ministry of Home Affairs sources also revealed that additional troops have been deployed in the LAC region. The ITBP is also planning to buy snow scooters for soldiers. The force may also fill its stocks for the next 6 months. And amid a tense border situation with China, trouble is mounting for Chinese firm Alibaba and founder Jack Ma. This after an ex-employee of the firm lodged a case in the Gurugram court alleging that he was wrongfully fired after objecting to what he saw as censorship and fake news on the company app. After complainant Pushpendra Singh Parmar's complaint, the Gurugram court has summoned Alibaba founder Jack Ma, asking him to appear in person or through a lawyer on July 29th. The case comes weeks after India cited security concerns in banning Alibaba's UC News, UC Browser and several other Chinese apps. Last month, the government had in fact banned 59 Chinese apps in retaliation to Chinese treachery in Ladakh. The government now has taken that a step further, banning another 47 applications. That's not all. The very famous PUBG is also now in the lens.
After India banned TikTok, is the very famous PUBG next on government radar? Nearly a month after India's digital strike on Chinese applications to punish the dragon for the Galwan bloodshed, the crackdown is far from over. The Narendra Modi government is in no mood to relent. After banning 59 Chinese apps last month, the centre has banned another 47 Chinese applications. Sources in the Modi government said that the banned apps were operating as clones of earlier banned applications, compromising data and security. That is not all. Sources said that the government is scanning 250 more applications for potential user privacy violations and national security threats. The very famous PUBG is also on the list. Although the PUBG video game has been developed by a subsidiary of South Korean video game company Bluehole, it is also backed by China's most valuable internet major, Tencent. India is the largest market for PUBG. According to estimates from app intelligence firm Sensor Tower, PUBG has generated about 17.5 crore installations to date. It is believed that the latest list of apps under the scanner also include the e-commerce platform Alibaba, Tencent, Xiaomi and ByteDance. These apps are alleged to be sharing data with Chinese agencies. While the centre action against these Chinese applications has been swift, there is little clarity over what action Narendra Modi government will take against Chinese telecom giants Huawei and ZTE. They are facing heat in the United States after being branded as national security threats.
Well, the opposition has hit out at Prime Minister Narendra Modi, saying he's not even named China in the Indo-China tussle. But India's response so far has been strategic, something which has worked. Actions have obviously spoken louder than words. But in the longer run, it's not just the 59 apps earlier and 47 apps now. More of these Chinese applications are now under scanner, putting a huge stress on what China calls an economic win so far, which has now been scuttled by India. With camera person Vinod, this is Kamaljeet Sandhu in Delhi for India Today.
Let's get you all the updates that you need to know on the coronavirus outbreak in India. Starting off with the numbers from the Health Ministry. Let's look at the nationwide picture first, where the number of cases, and these are confirmed COVID cases, it stands at 14,35,453, with the death toll at 32,771. Maharashtra remains the worst affected state with 3,75,799 cases and 13,656 deaths. Let's get you the latest numbers from Tamil Nadu, where 2,13,723 cases have come to light and 3,494 deaths have been reported. In the national capital, Delhi, the number of cases stands at 1,30,606, with the death toll at 3,827. Expect those numbers to go up in the coming hours because the Health Ministry will update it with the figures that have come in the last 24 hours. While you see the worst affected states, it seems to indicate that it is the metro cities that are the worst affected. What we're seeing in the last few days is that there has been some respite for the worst COVID hit metros. There's been, in fact, a remarkable dip in daily cases. On Monday, 613 fresh cases were reported in Delhi. As per the projections put out last month, the national capital was staring at 5.5 lakh cases by the end of July. But the infections seemingly plateaued and the total case count is a little above 1.3 lakh cases now. Delhi has also, in fact, witnessed a sharp decline of 44% in the mortality rate. Financial capital Mumbai too has seen a plunge in the daily caseload. 1,021 fresh cases have been recorded in the last 24 hours. In fact, in the last 1 week, cases have not crossed the 1,300 mark, despite Maharashtra witnessing a sharp surge. However, southern states like Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka is nearing the grim milestone of 1 lakh cases. In Andhra, the COVID-19 count doubled in just a matter of 8 days, with 6,051 fresh cases in the last 24 hours. Karnataka, meanwhile, reported the biggest single-day spike of 5,324 new infections. Bihar, too, is witnessing a surge in COVID-19 cases. The BCCI continues to get on with its preparations for the IPL in the UAE and have officially written to the Emirates Cricket Board informing them about their plans. The Emirates Cricket Board has confirmed that they've received a letter of intent from the BCCI to host the IPL in the UAE. The IPL is expected to begin on September 19th with the final on November 8th. The BCCI has written to the Indian government seeking necessary approvals, following which the schedule of the matches is expected to be released. Remember, the IPL was scheduled to begin in March but was forced to be suspended due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.